Okay, guys, welcome. Can you hear me? I just want to make sure that you can all hear me.
Yes.
Brilliant. Oh, that's great. Okay. Right, this time, I don't know, how many of you were at last week's Sunday event? Oh, good. Right, we got a lot of people. Brilliant. All right. Okay, so for you that haven't, you might have seen a replay. Just to start off, there will be a replay of this. So I'll be putting a replay out. You actually get an email with the link in there, but I'll also put it into the live sessions as well. Now, I have enabled you to be able to turn on your video, to turn on your sound. So all I'm asking is that you can mute yourself whilst I'm sort of going through things. When I say, like, is there any questions, then you can say something. So unmute your microphone and say something in there. From last week, it was really hard. I had Rakesh in here and he was answering a lot of questions in the chat because I couldn't jump from one to the other because there were so many of you in here asking questions. It was hard for me to jump over. So I'm trying to eliminate that. So that's why we've got sound. So it's fully interactive for you guys to ask your questions. So we should be good. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to say at certain points, like, is there any questions? And then you can say. So we will start. We've got quite a few today, so that's brilliant. Hiya, Phoenix. Yeah, guys, you don't, if you don't want to, you don't have to put on your camera. Just remember to unmute yourself when you want to say something. If I don't catch it in the chat, I don't know. I don't think Rakesh is in here today. So I'm on my own, but that's all right. We don't mind that. All right. So all about Page Builder today. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to jump into it. There we go. All right, guys, can you see my screen all okay?
I can't see the screen.
Oh, okay, good. Well, not good, but good. All right, there we go. Is that good?
Yes.
Lovely. All right. Right, okay. So Page Builder is the thing that we use to build all of our pages. Now, I'm going to be talking about pages, but we use Page Builder in funnel pages. We also use them for creating our pages or adapting our pages inside of live events, such as this one. So Page Builder plays a really important role in how you design your site. Also, we have lots of custom-made templates in there. So you can actually just, well, they're blocks. You can actually grab them and you can just drop them into the page. They're highly customizable and it's really up to your imagination how you want to work with them. So I'm going to be running through some of the kind of hurdles that causes people problems within this. We're also going to look at the pages as well. And we're going to look at the pages first. These are pages in your site. So when you go into your dashboard, so all you guys have been in your dashboard, so you know where all of that is. You're going to see up here a tab called Site. And then on the left-hand side, we've got pages. Now, pages refer to any pages in your site. So they're your main site page, like your home page, your contact us page, your about us page. You can also add extra pages in there, and you don't have to add them as links inside the main site. So you could have a self-contained single page, and you could use that as a landing page to get on Google search results and things. We're going to talk about SEO and marketing in another workshop, and I'll be talking about landing pages. So you need to know that you can create as many pages in your site as you want, but they don't have to be linked to the menu up here. Yeah. And why would you do that? Because you might want to put that out to people, bring them into the site that way, use them as a landing page. So they land on that page and then they enter your site, or you get them to sign up for something and come in through that way. So landing pages and all that can be done in site pages. So let's jump into what happens with the system. Well, when you first actually get your site and you've actually named it and everything else, you're going to get all the pages are self-generated for you. So these are the base pages. Some of them are really important that you don't change them too much. You can change the design, but you need to leave some of the blocks in there that I'll be talking about. These blocks are called dynamic blocks. And what dynamic blocks do is they pull information in from other areas, or they're set up for you. So an example of this would be your courses. As you add more courses, that block gets self-populated with the courses that you add in there. Other things, dynamic block that we have in here is this top header menu, or the menu, the main menu. And when you add, if you have this dynamic block in other pages, if you make a change in this one block, it will ripple through all the other pages as long as that block is in there. Okay. Now you don't have to have a dynamic block in there at the top. We could put our own in there, as you'll see later. So looking at pages, let's have a look at just the settings first of all. The big green button there says published. It means it's published. So that's not a hard one. If you unpublish it, which you can, it means it will not show. So if I click this little gear icon here, you're going to see that you have the page name, which you could change. So generally people like to call it another name, so it appears. So I just put like Zenler platform in there, and changing that is not going to change the actual name of the page itself. That's set by the URL down here. So if I click update, that home page now is called Zenler platform down there. But notice this is still the same. Okay, and this is your root, your home page. So it's whatever you've called the site, and at the very end of it, you've got this / and then home, and you've got / courses / privacy. So if I was to take this end part here, copy it, and just take the end part here and just add that on, click enter, and it will go to the all courses page. Now you can see there's nothing in there because we haven't created any courses yet. This is just a blank site. So next on here we have, I'm going to skip the edit because the edit button takes us into the page builder. So next thing we've got in here is the duplicate. So you can make a clone, well, it's called clone, but you can make a duplicate or clone page of this. And you can also preview the page by clicking the little preview button, and it'll open up in a new tab. So you can have a look at it and then just close it back down again. You've still got the tab that you're on. And the last one we got here is a dangerous one. It's called the recycle bin or bin it. So trash bin, be careful with this. Now I advise people, if they've done a lot of work on a page, if you're not sure whether you want to delete it or not, the best thing to do is to unpublish it. So you click there, you click unpublish, and then you click update. And it's going to say here, because this is the home page, this page cannot be unpublished as it's the site home page. So everything, we try and give you warnings with everything. So I'll just use this one here. So just unpublish this. And now you're going to see this goes red. So clearly you can see which pages are published, which pages are unpublished. Now we have had a lot of people, not a lot, but quite a few, actually unpublish some of the really important pages. And the really important pages of your site are the register, because that's where people sign up for your site to get onto your mailing list. They might not buy a course, but they'll register on your site. So I've seen people unpublish this, and then it's like, why aren't people getting on my sites? Because they've unpublished this page. In some cases they've deleted it or even removed the block that's out of it. The same goes for the login page. This is also very important, because if you've already got students and they need to log in and they can't get to anything, so they're stuck. So you need to be really careful with this register and this login page. The home page, obviously really important. We also have the all courses page as well. So this shows all your courses, and then we have my courses. Now my course page is for people that have bought a course. So if you've got three, say you've got 3 courses and someone's bought all 3 of your courses, when they go into their site, they're going to see a little menu item that says My Courses here when they log in. And they're going to click on it and they're going to see all the courses they've bought. So again, if you deleted this out, it would mean that they wouldn't see the courses they've bought. So be careful with these pages, the login page, the register page, the My Courses page. All right. So the rest of the pages you can go in and play around with. Some people like to put the terms of use, privacy policy, and they like to just put them in one page. And you can do that. You can copy it out, drop it in one page, and just have one page for all of that rather than have 2 pages. It's up to you how you want to work with it. Again, we've got things like support page. This is basically a contact form that goes off to you. There's other things in here like unsubscribe. Now, go into these, a lot of people don't go into them, but it's actually, you need to go into every one of your page and make sure they're branded how you want them to show. If you're not sure what the content's doing, and it's a dynamic block, and that means a block that's got this gold color, this mustard color, okay, do not delete it out. Just leave it in there, but just apply your branding around it because it's doing something important if it's a dynamic block in the pages, okay? We have that case with the unsubscribe and the subscribe mail. If I view this, at the moment, we've got the Zenler logo up here. You probably want to replace that logo with your own brand logo, just in case you miss it. So that is all the pages. It's really easy. We can also go up the top here and we can add a brand new page. So we can go in here and you're going to see you give it a page title. You add a URL here, and then you can just select one of these. So we've got a general 1 template, a general 2 template. I only really use the blank one because once you get used to using the page builder, you can just open a blank page and then just drop your blocks where you like and name it, and we'll link it. And I'll be showing you how to link it to a new page once we've gone through all the page builder parts. So guys, are you happy with that? Is everybody understanding that? You're all good.
Yeah, David, Phoenix here. Hello.
Hiya.
I thought maybe you could just quickly show them where to go look for any history of pages that they might have been working on.
History as far as what?
Let's say, for example, you've been working on a page and you think it's saved and you come back and it didn't quite. I think in the top right corner on the down arrow, you can actually get access to your history. Maybe that's in the site builder. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah, you're right. That is something we've got to cover. Version, version history and all those things. Because I need to go into the page builder, which is what this main part is about. So yeah, as Phoenix was saying, you have the ability in the pages, if you make a change, you can, and you want to get it back to what it was. If you saved it and you go out and you want to go back to another revision, Zenler actually saves version histories, which I'll be showing you in the page. So we're going to jump into Page Builder now, and I'm going to just be opening this home page here.
Can I just ask quickly, I heard you say that for each of these pages, we need to go in and make sure our branding is updated. It doesn't pull automatically from our branding that we put in the overall site. Is that right? Yeah,
it does, but not with some of them. I should actually just show you quickly about the branding tab. I was going to show you that with the...
Again, is where we put the logo, our logo.
Absolutely, yeah. You'll see here it says branding. It's under site, and hit here branding. And we can upload our logo in here. Now, if we look at the site, I'm going to be jumping back to this bit later because I want to show you what happens when you change these with the branding blocks. But I'll jump on it now just so that you can put your logo in there. Right, the first one we've got here is the logo. So if I go back to my main site here, and we click it. At the moment, all we've got is the name of the site. So obviously we want to put a logo in there. So if you click the upload and then you go and locate the file, and I have some ready-made stuff here. So I can just drop my logo in there, and as long as I come down there and save it and jump back into the page, and now I hit the refresh. So I'm in Chrome, and I'm holding the control key and I'm hitting the refresh button. Then you're going to see your logo comes up. Right, now also look in this little box here. This is called a fav icon, and that is here. And fav icons must be square. I always advise them to be, I don't want to get too technical here with pixel sizes and things, but it's 512 pixels. Just make sure it's a nice big image and it's square. And if it's square, you can then upload it in there. And then when you do upload it, it will replace this with whatever you've uploaded. Okay, so that is that branding for the logo. So when you were saying about does the branding ripple through it? It does, but it doesn't ripple through into pages. So where you've got those site pages, I'm going to jump back and we go to there, because this is an actual page element inside here. You need to manually put that in there. Yeah.
Is that with each page, David? You have to manually?
No, it's not. It's only on a few of the pages. I think really actually it's only on the unsubscribe and the subscribe mail. But it's amazing how many people forget to change that. And that's why I advise you to go through and look at every single page, even if they're not linked in the menu, just to make sure you don't forget. Because remember that if your pages are active, they might be picked up on search results and someone might find it, even if it's not linked in the menu system. So you need to definitely the unsubscribe, definitely the subscribe. The rest, I think, haven't got any logos in them. And once you change that logo over in branding, then it will basically go into each of the pages. So if I went to all course page now, you see it pops up and support. Yeah. And all the colors, things like the background for this, I'm going to leave this header area at the moment. I just want to concentrate on the page builder, which is the central bit. A web page is made up of the header, which is normally all your menu and your logos and your login here. And then it's made up of, at the bottom, it's made up of the footer. So this is footer information. And generally in a lot of websites, that doesn't change. Yeah. So it stays with that header, that footer, and the only thing that really changes through the pages is the body content. Now, I'm not saying that's always the case, because you can put different headers in for different pages if you want to. You've got that flexibility of doing that. But generally, most sites have the same header and they have a footer and it stays the same. And the only bit that changes is the content, is this big body area in here, this area.
David, hi, Phoenix here again.
Yeah.
I didn't see a 404 or page not found page.
No,
Is there some...
no, 404. Phoenix, I want to sort of stay away from that. 404 pages are just generated by the system. So we haven't got that in there that you can go and actually edit any of the branding for that.
And we don't have to worry about adding them in?
No, but we might put them in. We might put 505s, 501s, 403. We might put all those in there at some point or change them. But at the moment, it just generates that if the page can't be found. Well, I'm hoping that doesn't happen to you. Sometimes it does if the server goes down and things like that.
Yeah.
But hopefully that shouldn't happen. But I think that's something that's going to be added in.
Okay, so for now I don't have to worry about them.
Don't worry about it, Phoenix.
Okay, thank you.
Don't worry.
I break that. I'm just checking.
Yeah, that's all right. That's good. Right, let's jump to the pages now. So page builder, right, 101 page builder. So we hit the little pencil icon on any of the pages. You're going to go through to the pages to edit. So here is the page. This is our home page here. And this page, it might look complicated with all the things going on as you mouse over, but it's actually really, really simple. The basics of a page builder is each area is a block. So each area has got a block which is blue. Then inside that main block, which can be customizable, you can put images in, you can change the spacing, all these sort of things that I'll show you in a minute. The next thing you put in is a row. So a row with columns dictates where the how the page is going to look, what you're putting in there. You might put an image on the left, you might put text on the right hand side, and you set that up with a row. So inside that row, which is green there, you have then elements which go inside it. Now, elements is anything, could be images, could be video, could be buttons, could be forms, could be anything you like, really, that you could put in there from the elements block. So this is the thinking. So I'm going to show you a little slide that I've done that kind of explains it a little bit better. Where is he? Okay. Here it is here. So if you look at this unit, all these areas, this blue indicates one block. Inside that block is a containing row, in this case, just a one column row. Okay. And then inside that is an element. Now elements, you can put multiple elements in there, but this is the system. This is how it works. So all of these blocks, rows, elements, you can change lots of the things about them, and you use the gear icon to do that. So if I go into this is a block, you're going to see down here, we have the ability to go to settings, clone it or duplicate it. You can go in and save it. If you're on Pro and Premium, you can save blocks out, and you can go in and you can delete the block out. So because if I duplicated this block, because it's a containing block, anything inside it, including rows, elements, will be duplicated. So if I go to this and I click clone, bang, you've got a duplicate coming up of that block. Now I can delete it there as well. And that's really easy. So you can just duplicate blocks out, change the content. So if you've got a style that you're working with, you can duplicate that or save the block and add it to other pages. So if we go into the settings now, you're going to see over here that there's quite a few things that we can do. Now, every block, row, and element has this little gear icon. So it means whenever you see the gear icon, it means you can change it in some way. So we go over here and we look, and I decide that I don't like that picture. I can click in the little picture tab and I can load a new picture in. Do you see that? And you could also change, because I've put an image in there, I could also change the background image position. This is on a block, remember? So at the moment it's center center. So what it's doing is it's looking at the image and it's putting it right in the center of the block. So I could come in here and go top center. You're going to see it drops down. I can also go in here. When you mouse over, you can see it shows a little kind of lighter area. This is kind of a spacing block inside. If I click, I can drag like this. I can go up the top. I can drag it down there to set that spacing. Also, in here, you could put an overlay color. So like this text isn't showing up very well on this colored background. So it might be better to put a lighter kind of overlay. So we can do that. You can activate the background overlay and just choose something like a white. And now we have control over the opacity of that, making our text pop. Of course, you could make the text white, and then you can make that a darker background if you wanted to. So this is how we haven't got in main block areas, we haven't got too much to worry about. There's not too many settings in here to play around with. You just got the style settings in here. You can align content left. Like I said, you could choose a background color. So if I just deleted this out, just click that, I could choose a background color in there instead. And then I could turn that off. So you can go in and choose images for your background. Now we are connected up to Pixabay. So although you can upload your own images by just clicking the upload button, click the upload button, and I'll just click this dandelion one here. When I do upload from my computer, it's going to ask me, it's going to give me a kind of crop area. Where do I want to crop it? But if I'm using it for a main background image, I really do not want it to crop. I want lots of height so I can put extra content in, and it can snip off where it wants to. So I generally click upload without crop. It will still optimize the image down, but it will give me that full image. So I've got more image to play with if I add more content down like that. So that is actually uploading from the computer. But inside here, we're connected to Pixabay. So if I go in here and I search for an image, and I'll put something like nature and hit search, it will show me images that I can load in from Pixabay. So you can go through these, have a look, type what you like, and choose a new image. Let's choose that. I'm going to insert without crop. And we've got that new image in there. Of course, I can set the position of that. This probably would be better center, so the trees are showing, or even from the bottom. So I'll go bottom center, and then it shows like that. So is that clear for you guys?
Can you crop an image once it's in? For example, if you have an element, or do you have to do that at the beginning?
Yeah, you have to do it at the beginning with that crop. What that crop box is, and you'll see it pop up quite a lot of times, it actually gives Zenler's a recommended kind of crop size for that block, but it bases it on, it usually bases it on the sort of standard size someone would upload and put content in there. I think for background image, I don't think they should have the crop, because you can always crop it by just moving these up like this. You know, you can just set your own crop inside here. Some places I think it's really important to have the crop because it gives you the right ratio. So things like when we start to look at doing the course creation, when we're putting the course cards up, it's really important that they give us that crop, because we want to make sure all the images that we have for our course cards are the same size. So that's really handy to have that. Because you don't want to put a course image up that's like that big and then another course image up like that big, because otherwise it will just go all over the place. So I generally don't use the crop when I'm uploading a background image, a big main background image. Is that okay? Yeah, good. All right.
Kevin, I have a question.
Fire
Can you
away.
hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So what are the best dimensions for a full width background image for the full block? What are the dimensions, and how large a file size in terms of loading the page? Does it I don't know, transfer the image to make it loading faster, or do you need to get a really small file size?
Yeah, well, that originally we had it so, but what happens is, yeah, you know, I mean, you did right. If I was to upload like 40 images and they were all like 10 megabytes, 10 megabytes in size each, then obviously, and they didn't actually optimize, then I would have a big problem, because the page wouldn't load for like 2 or 3 minutes when you want the quickest site that you can get. Now, ideally, if you wanted the speediest site in the world, you would just put text on your page, but it looks a bit boring. So what we've done is you can upload any size image, because when you do, even if you upload without crop, it's kind of misleading, because the Zenler system actually optimizes it. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that too much, because you're just uploading it and you know that the Zenler system's going to optimize it. Now, of course, you know, if I had this image here and I was only ever going to use this much of the image, then I'm not going to get an image that's really, really, really tall and load it in there when I click the upload without crop, because I'm never going to see any of that image down the bottom. So then you might use an image editing program to crop it to how you like. And that's coming up in a future workshop. What you guys are going to have is I'm going to give you the choice of what we're doing next Sunday. So you've got three choices. One is image editing, where I'm going to, we're not even going to be much in Zenler. I'm going to be showing you how to use image editing programs. Then the other choice you've got is using funnels and forms. And I've got another choice as well. So I'll talk about that at the end. So what I'm talking today, it's a valid question about the size and those sort of things. But what I'm telling you now is that the system will actually optimize it.
Okay, so optimize in terms of file size, but what about the width? Because I'm using Canva, so I can make, I can make any custom size. What is the pixel width for a full width block?
I think it's like 2,200 width. I always work double. That's what I do. I do lots of graphic design and photo manipulation and stuff, photo retouching, and I always work twice or three times the size. So I've worked with a file for this for like 6,000 in width. Now, some systems have problems processing that, but if you go over 2,200 pixels wide, if you go over that, you're going to be okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a valid point, because it's a lot of like, oh, well, if I'm uploading all these images and they're all in size, is my site going to be slower? And you do get that, but we do optimize the images as they come in, so you don't have to worry too much.
Okay, great. Now, I should ask also, because I like to use GIFs a lot, GIFs, whichever is the correct way to say it. But I like to use GIFs, and a lot of times the GIFs are 2 megabytes, 3 megabytes, or 5. So that's okay. That will also be optimized.
Yeah, you've got to be a little bit careful with GIF files, because of the size, because it's basically creating frames. So be careful with those. Look at the performance of your site. If you're uploading lots of them, just look at the performance or the load time of your site and just make sure it's not impacting it too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
They add nice motion to the page. They're really
yeah, they do. But also remember that yeah, I mean, the thing is, you used to be able to like upload video and things like that straight into backgrounds. Hopefully we're going to have that kind of feature, but it's where it auto plays. But the thing is, a lot of video that you might set up as a background image and you might want it to automatically play. Now, Google Chrome in particular doesn't allow you to do that. Well, it allows you to do it, but without sound. So that's something that I'm going to do for another. I've done an Ask Zenler on videos and putting embedding videos and these sort of things and getting them to autoplay. But I want to do another one on actually generating moving graphics. Probably, might be using GIF to do that as well. So I'll prioritize that, because it's I think you're right. I think a little bit of motion really captures people's attention. I mean, even like if you're doing live and you've got a little button on there, you've got a little circle and it's just glowing, it's just pulsing, it just adds a bit of interest to the page.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
That's all right. Yeah, David today. It's David today, not Kevin.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks, David. I've been with Kevin for the last 11 days. So.
Oh, you've been on the workshop. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, David.
That's all right.
David, can I quickly ask a question?
Yeah,
this is
sure.
Diana. Hi, good morning. Well, from here. Is there a way to blur an image when we choose an image from Pixabay?
Not in the system. I mean, obviously, like I've applied an overlay there, which kind of automatically kind of blurs it, like that. But you'll have to use the you have to use an image editing program to do that. So, like, I recommend Pixlr. That's really good one to use. This is one I've put it on a few sites. It's pixlr.com. Upload your image. Use the Pixlr e version. Sign up for this. It's free. Go in there, load an image in. If I just choose this, I'm used to using Photoshop, so excuse me if I'm just a little bit where is it? It's in here somewhere. There'll be something for blurring in here. Oh, there you go, blur. And I can go blur amount. There you go, click apply, and then I could save that out.
Super, thank you very much.
That's all right. This is a really good program. It's free as well. And it's quite cheap if you go on subscription. I don't do anything for pixel art. I just wanted to find a something that was similar to Photoshop that was free to use. So this works really well. I'm kind of quite quick with it because it's pretty similar to Photoshop. This is definitely a good program to check out. If you're thinking, oh, well, I could use Canvas. Canvas is different to an image editing suite. Yeah, there's a lot more power in this than there is in Canva. Yeah. So bear that in mind. If there's certain things you can't do in Canva, then try it in here. And it's really good to just play around with this software as well. Right. So moving on, we're going to move on from blocks now. We're going to move to rows. So inside of rows, if you click this settings, you're going to see we've got a lot more kind of options coming up in here. We have spacing. So, and we have spacing on top, bottom, left, right. We also have padding. A lot of people get confused with spacing and padding. Now, I look at spacing as kind of, if you've got a box, like the spacing is how close are the boxes to each other, but padding is like how much bubble wrap you put in around something. Yeah, so it's kind of in there, it's the padding around it. So if I clicked in here and I move this down, you're going to see that the box stays the same, but it just adds space to that top and bottom. So some people go, oh, I'll just put spacing in there like that, which you can do. But if you put a color in here, which we can down here, background color, then you'll want to probably put a bit of padding in there just to pad it out. And just make it look a bit better. So these are kind of closed up by default, but that's the difference between spacing and padding. Spacing is kind of outside it and padding is inside the box. And we've got padding and spacing on elements as well. So inside here, we have lots of different things you can do. If I go in here and I choose a lot of people do this, a lot of people go in here and they go, oh, I put a border in here. I'll choose a border color. Let's choose a blue. And then I'll go in here and I'll make it a width of 8. And then they look at it and they go, nothing's happened. And that's because they have not checked the border style. And there's different border styles that we can pick. See? So you need to make sure if you're adding borders, and we can even add a corner on this. Let me put 40 on there. You can see that. So when you're adding a border, you need to make sure you select a border style, a border width, and the border color. And we have different options. So you have here like these dots, these dashes, or none. It disappears. But you've still got the radius on there. Do you notice that? See the radius? So it takes on that attribute. And of course, if you don't want this, you can put 0 in there and hit enter. Background image, we can put a background image into a row as well. So we click in here, I could click and just have a background image in the row. And that is about all the options of that. However, if you go over the box when it's green and you right-hand click, you can actually go in and change some of the stuff here. So you can go in here and you can clone the row, you can delete the row, you can move this up and down. So if I was to create a clone of this and I was to come into here, I'm going to just delete this out. I can move this up like that. Bang. And we can also add other rows. Now, I'm just working with these blocks that I've got in Page, but I'm going to be adding rows with extra columns. And we can do that by clicking here, Add Row. So if I click Add Row, you're going to get the rows come up. So if I wanted 2 columns, put 1 row and click there. And now you have 2. So I can add an element in here. So I can add a heading. I could go into this one, add an element, maybe the same heading, and so on. So you can actually go in here and you have these settings that you can go in And again, change the spacing, the padding. And when you've got 2 columns, you can actually go and change this. So you can go in here and just change the width. You can just drag it along. Yeah, we're going to talk about this more later. It's just showing you the basics of how it works. So it's really easy. Like if you wanted to put an image in here, you could delete this out, put a new element in here. And remember, elements, we've got blocks, rows, elements. So an element.
Hi, this is Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Hey, the row that you added, can you make it wider than the original row? I mean, yeah, the original row.
What, to get it to go right to the edge?
Yeah, I'm just asking just for.
Everything works in a grid. So if you were going to do something like that, you would probably make this content full width. To make the content full width, you can click into the main block, and then you can come down to here where it says full width, and you could click that. So now you could add, you could have done a 3 row in there or a 4 row. There we go. Let's do 4 like that.
Okay.
And then you just put content in there.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's how that works. Now, of course, you also remember you can use spacing, and there's something I haven't talked about yet, but I'm going to tell you about negative spacing inside here as well to get different effects still. And of course, we've not talked about tablet or mobile responsiveness yet. So these are other things that we need to do. So inside here, as you can see, I added a new row. Now you can also add a row inside a row. so you can get really complex with this. So a block, you can only create 1 block. You can't put a blue block inside another blue block, but you can create a row, and you can put another row inside that block to give you extra control. You might be asking, why would you do that? There are occasions when you need to do that, but I'm not going to talk about it too much now because I don't want to confuse the issue. This is the basics, really. Okay, so that is the rows there. So now you've seen me touch on adding an element in here. So I'm going to just delete this out, and we're going to go through some of the elements. So let's click this one and click this little gear icon, and you're going to see that we've got pretty much the same settings that we had in the row blocks. We've got spacing, we've got padding, but because this is a text block, we have access now to the fonts. So fonts can be changed in here to different font types. So you could change it to this if you wanted to. Okay, you can change the font size in here as well. You can also enter a number in here, and of course change the color. Now what I've done here by changing this font is I've changed the branding font that you would have picked out at the beginning. So if I jump back to here and we go to branding, remember branding where we put our logo? This area, font family, is where you select your fonts for the entire site. So heading fonts are headings like this, and body fonts are kind of in the body. So they're just paragraph blocks. And you can set those inside here under font family. Now, at any stage, you could go in here and change these, and they could be updated in the site. We also have color settings down here for different colored parts of the sites. And we're going to look at this in a minute after I've covered the page builder. So let's go and let's have a look up here, because I'm going to just be jumping around a little bit here. Yeah, okay. Right, so we have changed the color. We've changed the font type in here. And that's overridden the branding that we selected. So if you were in the branding section, you'd select a particular heading font and body font. You do have the ability to override it by going into here and selecting a different font. So be careful of that, because by default, it will select the branding font that you've got, but you can override it if you want to. And you need to make sure underneath your editor preferences, under this little tab, that you have apply branding styles. Now, by default, that's turned on, so you don't need to worry about it. But if you do decide that you want to bypass the branding, then you can turn that off and you can bypass the branding that was on the branding page. This is just so that you know. You've also got another one which shows confirmation for deletion. I always leave that on, because you can accidentally delete a block out. So always leave that on. So you'll see what's going to happen with the branding in a second when I start to drag some blocks across. So let's have a look at some of the different elements that we can add. If I add a new one, you can see here, we can obviously add a row. We can go in here and you can pick different heading types. Now these going sequence, these are the biggest type, which are called H1 tags. This is an H2, H3, H4, H5 to 6, okay? And then we've got text, which is down here, which is a text block. Now you might be asking, why have you got heading 1, heading 2, heading 3? Well, that is the tag that it tags. And when search engines look at your site, they take the priority of the tag of the heading tags. So it will look at H1, it will go, that's what the page is about. And it will look at H2 and it will go, that's the subtitle of the page. So it takes a priority on these things. So it's something to definitely be aware of. We're going to cover that more in the kind of SEO and marketing workshop that we do, but I just thought I'd touch on it now. So in here, we also have forms, so we can set forms up on pages. That's going to be another workshop. And we have buttons, so we can add buttons. We can add images. We've already touched on this already. We can also insert video. So I'll do a video in a minute. We can also insert lists. So you have list types, text. So we can drop a text block in. We can put icons. So you can choose an icon. And all of these elements give you the ability to search in here. So if you're searching for something, so you can find something in there, loads of icons to choose from, and you can drop them in. We also have countdown timers. So this is a bit like the waiting page that you saw where it's counting down. So you can set timers up. And we have HTML. Now, for most of these things like video, countdown timers, they're all part of, I've done tutorials on them. So you'll either find them on the YouTube page, which is youtube.com/c/Zenler, or, and I hope you've all signed up for this, the tutorial site, I have the NZ Masterclass bundle. So have you all signed up for the Masterclass bundle? Linda has.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay. I haven't got my chat open, so I need to just have a quick look. Yes, everybody has. Brilliant. Not sure. Joy's not sure. Right. No, need to sign up. Right. Okay. Yeah, you definitely need to sign up for this. This is at tutorials.newzenler.com. And in here, there's 2 courses that you should definitely be interested in straight away. If you just sign up for this one course down here, which is free, you're going to find in here the quick start guide. So if you guys are new to Zenler, make sure you do the quick start guide. It won't go into as much detail on the page builder as I'm doing in this live workshop, but it tells you how to set things up quickly and gets you started. When you've done that, you want to move into the complete guide to Zenler, because inside there's search function, which you can type what you're looking for and it will put it in red and you can find it and you can go straight to that lecture. There's a few other little courses in here as well. This is ethically copy your site course layout. So if you're trying to use page builders to build your page, you definitely want to check this page out, because I use the page builder. That's purely page builder. And I go into more advanced techniques about like putting images flush to the edge and doing blocks and things. So this is definitely one to look at. Hardware, software is in here. Got advanced ninja tricks. If you're not into coding and you're not a bit of a techie or a nerdy, don't go in there, because it's quite techie. And all the live workshops that we're doing, including this one, will go into live workshops. So last week's one is in there already. So guys, if you haven't signed up for the tutorials.new Zenler, definitely jump in there and do that. And I've put the link in the chat. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so the next one we've got here is custom HTML. Now, if you're a coder and you want to use custom HTML, you have that ability to be able to do it. Zenler, we've made this so that you don't have to be a coder or a developer to design and make your sites look good. But some people want the power to be able to do other things, and Zenler has a lot of power behind the scenes. So it gives you that ability to progress your skills once you've done all this and page building. I want to change something specific, then maybe think about learning some more advanced techniques, which are in the ninja tricks. So there can be good ones on there, like creating parallax, sticky headers, these kind of things. So this is the page builder. We've looked at blocks, we've looked at rows, we've looked at elements, and all of these have their own little settings. So even this little button here, we can go through and change the text. So I could put something like join now in there, and then I could choose an action. So I could actually put an action there where this button is going to. So I could put this to going to my registration page. So I'm going to show you this a bit later. You drop the link in there and it would basically, you click that button, you go through to the page. But, and this is the beauty of the page builder, we have built these blocks. So you don't need any design skills. You can just open these little blocks up at the side. There's two ways of accessing the blocks. One is blocks, rows, or elements. One is clicking the little plus sign. So you get this little plus sign that comes up, and you can just click that. And if I go to there, I can click a block. But you can also come over to here and have a look through some of the ready-made block templates that we've got set up. So I've got one here. So if I get this one, I can click on it with my left mouse button. I can drag it across to where I want it. Maybe I want it at the top, and I can just let go. And bang, it just appears. Now, did you see that the block went from white to grey? Now, this is because your branding has that set up as that is the text color, the font type, and the font color. So it automatically changed it over. So if you want to avoid this happening, you could go in and go to the editor and turn off branding styles. Or, and this is the better way, you can click in here, go to the gear icon, and you can just turn off apply branding, and bang, it goes to exactly the same as the block that we just pulled out, which was that one. So if you want it to be applied in your site branding, you can turn that on, and then you can just go in and edit that per block. So I want to make that white because so it stands up, but now it's in the same font that I've got for my site, and the same button color as well. And all of these you can change like that. You can also put more space there. Yeah, do you have a question?
Yes, please. If I do a lot of things and then I regret them, how do I, if I don't, do I have to throw them away, or can I just jump back?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go and do that. This is what Phoenix was asking a little while ago. So I'm going to just make some big changes here. So I'm going to go in and change a few things. I might take that and come into the settings, make that 52. And I might decide I want to go back because it's not what I wanted. So first of all, when you make changes and you save, I've not saved, I've been making loads of changes and I haven't saved it. So I'm going to click save. So that has now saved this page, but I can still get back. there's two ways I can get back. If I want to make short, if I want to get back really quickly with little changes I've made, I've got this little undo here. Now you can also press Control Z on the keyboard, or you can click this, and this will take you back to what you were before, like that. And you can also go forwards, like that. Now, if I want to go back to a previous version, if I click this little button here, I have version history. And this gives me a history, a timestamp of each of the changes that I've made. So if I want to go in here, I can also preview the revision. So if I hit this button, it will show me a preview of that page. Now you haven't seen this because I did this much earlier. So it's previewing, it's previewing right back. So if I preview a change that we just did, like that's before we saved it, let's have a look at this one. So there we go, we're back to the beginning. So we can actually go back through the history. And once you're happy with that version, you can just go in here to the version history, and you can just click this little button here, and this will then revert it back. Are you okay with that, Linda?
Great, thank you a lot.
Yeah. Oh.
You said also last Sunday that you can't write your in your text in Word, I think.
Pardon? To actually?
When you're typing your text, you write it. Do you have to write it in something else than Word?
Oh, okay. So you want to sort of copy and paste things in there? You want to sort of create a document and copy that into here?
Yes, because I write in another language.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. So there's a few sort of key things with this. Now, I always advise you not to format and write in a document in something that formats like Word. I always use WordPad for PC. I think you've got like text edit for Macs. It's just like this. So this is what I would type in. So so I would use this, and I would not format it. I would not touch any of these. I would just copy this, and then I would paste it straight into here, like that. Right, and the reason being that if you actually, some people are okay with this. Some people are like, well, yeah, that it works for me. It's okay. I can put bold. I can put these things in there. The problem is that what people are not seeing is the code that actually goes in when you drop it in there can be kind of all over the place. So by using nice clean text, using something like WordPad or Notepad that doesn't actually put a format in there, you can just drop it straight in. So try not to use something like editing software to put in like colors for this. Don't put like colors in for this, and you know, make parts of it bold and these kind of things, because it can cause a lot of problems for the system. If you're doing any of your formatting, you should be doing it in here. So I can select that text, make it bold. I could also go ahead and change the color in here as well. Yeah, so you have the ability in here, but when you're using a text block, any kind of text block, that you can select it and then you can change certain aspects of it.
David, in the text editor, is there a specific font or size of font that you should be using?
No, it's really up to you. As long as it's legible on screen, that's the main thing. Some people like to use quite big font. I suppose it depends your marketplace. If you're going maybe for older generation of people, then maybe you do the font size slightly bigger. I've noticed through the years my font size is getting bigger and bigger. And probably for youngsters, you could do it like a sort of 8-point or something.
I just mean coming over from the text editor.
No, that wouldn't make, that shouldn't, it might take the formatting on. This is why all I do is I just open up my text editor and I just start typing straight in there. I don't go in here and make it sort of that big. It should be all right. with this, I think it's okay. I think you could, take it back to what it was. So you'd be all right.
David, can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, sure.
Hi. I've been following everything along and I've got a page set up and all the rest of it. And I'm just trying to do some alterations just now using the text box. And at the minute, it's been a bit of a bugger because it's not letting me put stuff in there. And the writing that's there, which is in French, I think, or something, is just going into a little red line, which is really weird. So I can't delete it. And I can't add my own text, which is very, very strange at the minute. So I don't know what's actually going on. So when you're clicking, as you're doing now, and you go to add your own text onto that, all the writing, which is in the foreign language, comes up as a little red squiggles. So
have you got, like you can see there's a little squiggle?
Yeah, but the writing isn't writing. It's not. You can't read it. It's just little lines. So when I then do Control V and put my stuff in there, I can't see my own stuff because it's coming up as little red lines. So I went on. This is just in the last few minutes. I went on to the wheel to see if there was anything in there, and it wouldn't let me even delete it. It wouldn't come up as acknowledging the even deleting or the wheel itself, which is a bit strange.
So, okay. So when you clicked here, you could not click this.
I couldn't even click onto it. It wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me go onto the wheel, and it wouldn't let me delete it and then try again. And I'm doing 2 columns. The other column's okay, which is a bit weird.
So so your basic is unresponsive. You can't touch it at all.
Yeah, it's very strange.
You might want to try refreshing the screen.
Right,
it can be sometimes. It can be that the internet kind of cuts out.
But the other one's okay, which is a bit strange. So
you should be able to. I mean, you can see I'm changing things here. I mean, if your font's right, I mean, over here, because although we have the ability in here under the gear icon to change the font size in here, you can also go in to here and change it here.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, but it's not letting me change it anywhere else. It's not letting me delete it if I want to. It's not letting me change it, which is a bit weird. But the other column, which is in the same setup that I've done side by side, is okay. So it is a bit strange.
Yeah, that's sorry, I can't help with that because
no. It's only because I'm doing it. I thought I'll mention that because it's a bit weird.
Yeah, I know some people have had problems. The only time I've had problems really is been when my internet's kind of gone a little bit, and then it's
mine's okay. And I know you do use is it Control V for cut and paste, isn't it? Because it doesn't like the using the mouse.
Oh.
If you're clicking on the mouse, it's not very happy about trying to use the mouse, and I can't take out the French, the foreign language test like I would do with a mouse, and then cut it out. It won't let me do that with the mouse.
All right, because what you could do is you could on the right hand side block that's okay. You could duplicate that block out and then drag it across. So let me just show you. It's going to be easier just to quickly show you. So
sorry, I don't want to knock you back from what you're.
No, it's all right. It's part of it. So if I just grab that block and drop it there, and then I was to duplicate that block, I could then drag it over there, like that.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing with this. You're able to move blocks around, so you can move them around. You can drop them into different areas. Now you're not going to be able to drop them into a blue box.
No, I've got all that.
You can drop them into other rows.
Yeah.
So yes, I mean hopefully that helps you.
I could actually show you because I've got it up now. I could actually.
Let me just finish this. We're going to in the last hour we're going to run through screen sharing and things. So I just want to get to the end of this.
Sorry, I'll hang on to it.
That's all right. It's no problem. It's good. So guys, so as you can see, we've got loads of blocks to choose from. We don't need to worry about that. And you can go through them And if you close this up, you can close them up. So you can go through, just basically pick your blocks out and just drop them into position. And that's how you can do your pages. So you can build your pages really quickly using this method. So I want to just jump through a few other things that you can do inside here. Well, one is if you do build a lovely block like this, you can, and you're using the Pro or Premium version, you can actually go in here and you can save this. So I could call this custom 1 for this, and I can click save. Now, it doesn't look like anything's happened, but if we go into the blocks and we come down the bottom, you're going to see down here, we have that custom block. So now I can drag that into another page. So that's one great thing that you can do. The other thing is here, we have pop-up. Now, this is a pop-up that you can activate on your page. So inside here, you can click this settings and you can change certain things with this pop-up, what happens. And we can also get it to activate when people click in to the pop-up. Let me just click there. See this little blue, this pop-up settings. We can trigger this. So you can trigger this on landing. So what landing means is someone's come in from outside and they've landed on your website. You can also on exit, so they exit a page, this pop-up comes up. You can do it on scroll. So when they scroll down the page, it pops up, and you can also do it after a delay. So we've got after a delay here. Let's delay this by 2 seconds. And I've left the active pop-up on, and I'm going to click save. So if I preview this page now by clicking the preview icon here, then you're going to see after 2 seconds, this pop-up will pop up. There we go. So pop-ups are a really good way to maybe, they annoy me, to be honest, but a lot of people use them because they're a good way to capture people's details. So you can have something on there saying, you know, join now and I'll give you a freebie. And then people put their things in and then close the pop-up. So pop-ups are really powerful. That's why we've got them on there. So to activate it, to deactivate the pop-up, just click that blue icon there and just turn it off there, okay? We can also change the style of the pop-up as well. So over here, we have different design variations. And to activate a new design, you just click it and it'll appear over here. So choose a design and then make that work for you. You can add different elements inside here. And of course, like everything else, you can change the colors and all of that stuff in there.
David?
Hiya.
David?
Hello.
Yes, is there a tutorial about how to create and send a newsletter from Zenler?
A Zenler newsletter?
No, in other words, if I want to, so if I'm signing people up, so I have a newsletter, let's say with Infusionsoft right now, and I want to move it all over to Zenler. So I'd like to learn how to create a newsletter from Zenler and then send it, an email blast. Is there a tutorial for that? I mean, you know, in other words,
no,
we have the pop-up to sign people up, but then how do we send a newsletter out from Zenler?
You're talking about automations, which is like part of the form kind of workshops that we're not onto yet. We're just covering the page builder and the design aspect of it. But the problem is that with the emails that we send out through the system at the moment, they're very, they're made so they're nice and easy. So it's just basically text, drop an image in if you want to. There's no real styling on them as yet, but that's something that we're working on. And we're hoping to bring out some templates, some design templates, a bit like MailChimp, where you can pick your designs. And that should be coming. I'm not going to give any kind of ETA on that. However, you saying that, I haven't had time yet, but I want to produce some basic standard HTML templates for you guys to use to drop into that area. So all you've got to do is replace your images, change the text to what you like, and then you'll have a lovely formatted email template. So that's something I'm going to do, but not at this point.
Okay.
Does that help?
It does, but I guess, so I'm trying to, right now I have Keep or Infusionsoft, and I'm sending my people out from there, but I wanted to use that with Zenler, which is one of the reasons why I signed up in addition to building a course. So I guess right now there's no way to send out an email blast, or is there?
Well, there is, because you can use the kind of automation, you probably have, I mean, a lot of people are using it. A lot of people use Active Campaign, a lot of people use MailChimp, but it's all integrated into Zenler. So there is a way of you people signing up, and then the subscriber list is pulled into like Active Campaign, and then you can send it out however you like. At the moment, we've tried to, we're not there yet on some of the features that we've got. It's like the blog feature, we need to improve these things, and we're trying to get to that point. But we are a course creation, we are a marketing platform and a course creation, but some of the units are quite big, like things like the email side of things, and it's just something we're working on. We're building towards getting closer to some of these standalone platforms like Active Campaign or MailChimp. We will get there, but it's a lot of work, and we're not claiming to be better for than Active Campaign or any of these things, because they are self-contained. We're trying to do everything. These are self-contained systems. So we will get there, but it'll take a little bit of time.
Okay, thank you.
That's all right.
But there is an integration, right? So that it can send these names to MailChimp or Active Campaign or something like this, right?
Yeah, I mean, lately I've been doing more and more. I should be just working on what Zenler does, you know. I try not to do too many in showing you how to use some of the integrations, because like for me personally, I don't need to, I have a really good success rate with mails going out from Zenler. So I don't use any other platform. I don't use Active Campaign. I used to use MailChimp. I don't use MailChimp anymore. I do everything inside the Zenler system. So for me, I've lost touch with using things like Active Campaign and those sort of things. But I know Kevin uses it a lot, and I'll talk to him. And it is something we want to do. We want to show more about how you can use things like Zapier into and connecting it to things like Active Campaign or Mooseend or ConvertKit. And we want to do more of that. But we've got to draw a line. We've got to be really careful, because all we'll be doing is showing you how to use other people's software. So there's a fine line. We need to show you how to integrate, but not go too far. Hopefully you understand that.
Wait, David, just one more quick thing. I'm so sorry. This is Jill again. So in other words, you sent out the email to us today in an email blast. That's all I'm really asking is how can I take the contacts that are in New Zenler that I'm going to import, let's say from Infusionsoft? How can I just want to send out an email blast like you sent out.
Oh, right. Okay. Because that email that went out to you, that's basically set up for automations. So as soon as you registered for this live webinar, it basically triggered you into a pipeline of emails that go out. One was to welcome you and giving you a link to the waiting page. The next email was fired out one day before, and then the one after that was 1 hour before the event. So it's all automatic. Once you signed up, it just punched it out to you. That we have actually got that in the complete guide to Zenler. If you look down there under the that will then make sense to what we're doing. But we want to do a full workshop on that, and this isn't about that.
I understand, but thank you so much. Okay,
that's all right. That's okay. Good, right, guys. We are a good hour in, but I just want to finish up a couple of little things. So let's go to page settings now. Page settings, you might not even use this area, but this is where you can put additional code into what's called the head section. This is code behind the scenes. So you can put additional code in there. You can also put what's called CSS, which is called cascading style sheets, which allow you to modify the code. Now, chances are you might never touch this area, but you need to know it's there. And there's one also, a really important button. If you have a form in your page, and this is not the login or registration page, if you have a form in this page, turn on reCAPTCHA, because then it will put up a little reCAPTCHA thing. So when people are signed up, it's not like a robot or anything. Now, I tell you this from past experience. I had thousands of emails blasted to me by Russians, and it was all Russian websites, URLs, emails, and they just hit me. And it was basically because I didn't turn reCAPTCHA on. So this is a big one. If you put a form in a page, turn reCAPTCHA on through the page settings. That's from past experience. So that's a good one. Next one is SEO settings. When you set your pages up, make sure you go into your SEO settings. Now, by default, when you save it, that page might come up automatically, and it's this bit here. And it's really important because this is what, if you share the page to social media, this is what they'll see. They'll see this information, and it will say Zenler, the marketing, and it will be a default image. You want to make sure that this is showing as yours. So you might come in here and put Zenler page builder. Okay, and then you want to write a short description. So you're not too long, but make it descriptive. So all about learning aspects of Zenler page builder. Yeah, something like that. Obviously, I'd extend on that, make it better. And the next one you want down here is keywords. So keywords help search engines see what the content is all about. So it really helps. So I generally take this, copy it, title, and then I put a comma, and I put my next keyword, which might be page builder, and then another comma, and do about probably maybe between 5 and 10. When you're finished, just finish it like that. Next thing you do, notice on this side it's starting to update. Next thing you do is you drop an image in here. So you can upload an image, or you can just pick one of those images. And this is now what your social media will look like. So if you post this page, once I've saved this, if I post this page to Facebook, this is what they'll see, this. If I don't make these changes in the SEO settings, then it will come up with something I don't know. So make sure you do this. This is quite an important aspect of building your pages. Wherever you have the ability to set SEO, set it up. So you can also see here, it says showing search results. You can turn this off. So and you're basically then telling search engines like Google, Yahoo, Bing, and those sort of ones to maybe not look at that site. It doesn't always work though. Sometimes they do look at them. So you should definitely set this up. And when you're finished in here, you just click done. Are you okay with that, SEO settings?
Can you add the SEO settings to each of the images? I forget what that's called.
What you mean, an alt tag?
Yes.
Yeah, this has come up before, and I don't think there is an alt tag on there. I think it automatically sets something up with the page content. I'll need to come back to you on that one. But do make sure that you set it up in here. This is really key, okay? So next one we've got here, we've tracking code. Now, if you guys are using Google Analytics or any of those, you might have some tracking code, you might have some JavaScript, some HTML. This is where you can put it in the tracking code area. Now, this is for this page. We also have an area that you can put tracking code in globally across all pages, but that's going to be, yeah, you guessed it, in the marketing part and SEO workshop. So I don't want to touch that too much, because it would just confuse you. Next, we've got version history, which we've looked at. Then we've got editor preferences, which we've already looked at as well. All right, guys, so that is Page Builder. Now, what I want to talk about in 10 minutes, because I'm going to just have a little break, is the dynamic blocks. So this is not these blue, these elements or these rows. It's actually these blocks here and how they affect you. So guys, I'm going to leave this all open so you can carry on chatting amongst yourself, but I'm going to have like a 10-minute break, and then I'll be back, and then we can carry on because my voice is going a little bit. Is that all right?
That's fine.
Lovely.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
All right, I'll see you in a minute. So what I want to talk about now is the dynamic header, and I want to talk about links as well in the pages, because it's this can be confusing for people. With any of the text areas, you can put links in there. So if I go into here and I just select here, you're going to see here you have this little link. So I could go and put in something like Google in here,
Can you share again, David?
Oh, I'm not sharing, am I? That would help. Right. Okay, let me jump. Thanks for telling me. Okay, are we all right? You see that okay?
I can see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, any of the text blocks that we have here, we can put links in. So you can select the text. So that's left mouse button and then just drag across the text. And you get your little options come up down here. And we can click and insert a link in there. So you can type in your Google or whatever link you want. And these are external links, but you can do internal links. And this is where that's now a link in there. This is where I want to tell you something. It's really, really important with the pages, because these are all the links to the pages that you've set up. But when you're putting links in for internal pages, you don't need to put the whole URL. You only need to put from the end of your domain. So if I was doing a link to the login page, this is for links internally on your site. You would put /login. Okay. Same with terms. It would be the end. So it would be for this one, it would be newzenler.com. Then it would be /terms. So I just need /terms. Now, the reason that you only have to put what's called relative links in is because these pages are relative to your site. So let me just show you now. And it will make sense, and I'll tell you why as well. So I'm going to open this little that I've got here, and here we go. So say for instance we have a site and it has a home page, an about us page, contact page, and then a link to Google. Well, obviously Google is not on our site, so if we were linking to Google, we would have to put the whole URL. Okay. If we were linking to the home or the about us page or the contact page, we could use the whole URL. But the problem with that is, and I've seen this a lot, is when people go from the whatever your site is .newzenler.com and then they change it to a custom domain, then that old link doesn't really work because it comes up with the Newzenler domain. So how can we avoid this? Well, we can avoid it by just using the relative version of it. So /home, /about us, /contact us. And that would then go to the correct page. So let me just show you what I mean. So if I close this down and I want to go to the home page, I'm going to create a link here. So I'm going to grab this part, copy it. I'm going to go into my page editor. And I'm going to put it in on here. And I'm just putting that. Okay. Now I'm actually on the home page, so it's not actually going to work. I need to go to, let's just go to the all courses page. Just save that first. And I'm going to drop that block in. Remember, we saved that block as a custom block. The page editor sometimes takes a little bit of time. It's basically because I'm streaming and my wife is on, she's actually doing another Zoom call in the next rooms. Here we go. So I'm going to grab this block, drag it across. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to select that text, go to here, and I'm going to drop that relative link in. So just /home, and I'm going to click insert and I'm going to save it. Notice that SEO block comes up because I haven't set any SEO. It always does that the first time you save it. So it's a good prompt to fill it out. So let's now go and preview this page and watch what happens. So here's our page, here's our link. And if I click it, look at the URL down the bottom here, bottom left-hand corner when I mouse over it. It says the whole site URL, then /home. If I click that, it's going to go to the home page. So because the page is internal, you don't need to use the whole URL. Now, like I said, this is really important for if you change to a custom domain or a subdomain, because if you put the whole URL, it's going to go somewhere else and it's going to go to that, and that page might not exist anymore. It might go to another site. So if you just put that relative URL, that's really going to help you. Is that clear? Do you understand that?
Yep.
Yeah. It's not hard. It's just, you just got to just take that end part there.
Hi, David. If I was, for example, I've got trying to open another site or have another site page. Okay. If I wanted to then send them from the first site to the second site, could you do the same?
No.
Oh.
No. If it's going to a different site, you have to put the whole URL in there.
Right. Okay. Even if it's still on a Zenler thing.
No, yeah, exactly. If you're going to a different URL, that's this URL, then even if it's on the Zenler site, it's not going to find it.
Right. So you need the whole link.
It's got to be in, because I know if you're using Pro version, you've got 3 sites, but don't think that you can use that link through. You've got you've got to be able to jump across. So this is purely if it's in that bubble. So per site. So if you've got per site and it's in that, if it's in this page, this page, you can use that method. But you know, if you make a mistake and you put it in there, I mean, you could use the whole URL, but like I said, if you did that, then and you changed to another domain, or you went into your site settings, you're on the free program, and you decided to change this URL in here to another .newzenler.com, then all the links that have got this old URL will not work unless you've used that relative, that / whatever it is. Is that okay?
Hi, yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Excellent.
I have a question, David. Suppose you're linking to a document. For example, you have find out more or learn more, and you are linking to a document or a video. How does that work?
If you're linking to what, like a YouTube video or something?
No, like a PDF document or a video that you have developed. And you have the thing, you say learn more or find out more, and you click.
So that's media that you've uploaded onto your site?
Yes. How do you haven't uploaded it to your site? For example, if you're having resources and there's some extra stuff you want them to be able to read, you don't have a page for it, but would you upload that into the media component of Zenler and then link it into that?
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 ways. If you're using a video, you're not going to be able to just put the link in there for the video because it's got no video player. It needs to be in a page to have the video player execute. But if you wanted to link it to a PDF, for instance, then you could do that. You could go into your media library, select your, I've only got images in here at the moment, unfortunately. Hold on, let me just jump to my other site. Inside here, we have media library, and inside here, I'm pretty sure I've got PDFs in here. Yeah, there we go. I could link to one of these PDFs. Notice there's a lock icon here. This is in the media player. So if you've got a PDF that you want to share in a link, you need to upload it here, okay? And when that uploads, if you want to share it with people that are not logged into the site, okay, you can leave it, you can unlock it so that it's open to everybody. So let me just show you. It's pretty easy. If I click in here, this is the little share icon. You can go link sharing on, logged in users with this link can download, or anyone with this link can download.
Okay.
Okay. And then you can actually, in fact, you can take the end part of the URL there. You don't need to take the whole of it, because this site, surfdude.com, that's the domain, and that's the part we need. So that's what I'd share. Now, if I shared that link and sorry, my mouse has just packed up on me. If I was to put that link in to, oh, where am I going? Oh my God. Yep. Yeah, if I was to actually put it in like logged in users, then the only people that could actually access that would be logged in users to the site. So it doesn't mean people that bought your course, it means anyone that's logged in. So anyone that's signed up and they've logged in as a user, they can then get access to that. But it is a way of restricting it. So that's what you would do. You just take that URL part.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's all right. That's the media library. We're going to talk a lot about the media library and things when we do funnels.
And that can be for anything. It could be if you had a video file to download, even if it wouldn't play without the player.
If you wanted people to download a file, your best option would be to zip the video file up, and then they would then download a zip file. Then they would open it up and then they could play the video. It's just because if they played it, it might open up. You might want them to download it. So if you do it as a zip, it will just download the whole lot to them.
Perfect.
Personally,
I'm trying to do like meditations and things like that. So.
All right. Well, what I would do, what would you be giving them away free or?
Yeah, as potentially in that pop-up, like sign up this and you get a free meditation. Here it is.
In that case, what I would do, I would do a pop-up and I would say to those people, put your details down here and then you'll get access to these free videos. And then when they sign up, it will basically add them to a funnel. And then you can set your funnel pages up. So you can do a video for day one, then you could do an automated email that goes out that sends them to a link to day two. And then at the end of it, you could sell. So then you could say, look, join my whole meditation membership site and get for the first month, get 50% off or something. So that could be a way of doing it. That's a good marketing tool. I'll give you an example of that. On my website, I've got a free basics course on a piece of software called ZBrush, and I've got it free on my course. It's free as part. So basically people come through, there's a whole course. They view the whole course, and at the end of it, I'm like, well, if you want to learn more, you can take this course, this course, this course. Sometimes I offer a discount, but mostly I don't. I only do about 3 discounts a year, if that. And then they buy into it because it does 2 things. Once you're giving away lots of free content, and they're also seeing if they like your teaching style. And if they do, they generally buy into you, you know. So that's what I would do with your free like meditation classes. I would actually drive them into some sort of funnel. Does that help?
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, good. So that is that. So I'm off subject a little bit. How about here you go. Right. So back into Page Builder, and what we know now about our links, let's go and have a look how we could add new links in here. So under the let me just click this again, click the gear icon. This is a dynamic header. Down here under menu, we have the ability to add new menu items. So if we click here, I could do another page to something. So I could put text in here like register. Okay. Let me do it all caps because it is all caps. And then I could go visible to all or logged in users. So if you have it for logged in users, this menu item will only be available. It'll only pop up when someone logs in. If you've got it for all, regardless, it will show. And obviously logged out users, it will show for only logged out users. So if I do it for all, just for ease, and we can do an action, go to link. And now I can go back into my pages over here. And I can send them to the registration page, which is that part there. Copy, back in here, paste that in there. And you can also click this if you want them to open in a new tab. Let's click save. And let's click save in here. And now if I go back to this page and I refresh it, control click there, you're going to see register comes up. When I click that, it will take them through to the registration page if I'd set it up. Yeah. So that's how we can create links in there. Now you can create links to anything, because if I come in here, I could create another link to externally to something like Google in there, visible to all, go to the link, and then I could put the Google URL in there. And click save. Click save there. Come back to here. And you're going to see Google comes up. So I could click that and go to Google. So that's how we can do it in here. Now, well, the great thing about the dynamic headers here is that every page you have that on, that information is going to be the same there. It's going to come across. So although we have the ability to add different headers, I mean, you could delete this out. You would then need to make sure you add that same header in on every single page. And if you made a change to one, you would need to go and make the change on all the other ones as well. So that's why this dynamic block for header is really good. If I go to the blocks and I show you, if we go to header blocks, which are here, you're going to see in here, this is the dynamic one. Let me just drag it under. There we go. It's the same as the one we've got. But we've also got other types of blocks. These are manual ones. So these do not update. If they are not in that gold color here, they do not update. But they do allow you to basically make it look however you want to in here. So it's something to think about. You know, if you want to break this kind of design and go with something your own, then you're going to need to take that, you're going to need to save it out and add it to the top of every single page that you go through. But that also means flexibility wise, you could change the colors on each page, you can change the way it looks on each page, so you can have a very unique feel, but it means more management from your point of view. And that's why we created the dynamic one, so that you don't have to, you can just drop it in there, make a change to the menu, and it's going to ripple through the whole site. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, David.
Yeah.
Quick question. My name is Mason. Hi. When you are adding that / like home link, do you have to go in and copy and paste from the page that you copy and pasted from, or can you just type / home? And then with Google, you typed in HTT, PS and everything, as opposed to just google.com. Are those all important things that we need to pay attention to?
Yeah, I mean, I always, if I'm going to a website, if I'm actually typing a website in, to avoid mistakes, I've been doing this for too many years, and I realise the amount of times that I've just gone and typed things and then made a mistake is unbelievable. So I always go to the site, like this is our YouTube channel, and I just go manually and I grab the URL, copy it, and I paste it straight into the site. Just avoids any mistakes happening in there. Okay. You can, and that's why I always go back and I copy it from the pages. You saw me do this. I mean, I know what these are. I know this is register. I know this is courses, but I'm just making sure that I'm not making a mistake. It's just, and this is even more important if you do a unique header for each page and it's not dynamic, because if you make one mistake, you're going to have to go through every single one of those pages and take it out, resave it as a custom block, put it into each pages. So it can take a bit of time, and we're looking for speed here. You're looking for things to be accurate and also to do it at as quick as you possibly can, really, to get the result, to get a good result, and not to make mistakes along the way.
Okay, so it's a mistake thing versus
it's a mistake avoider.
Okay, mistake avoider versus coding. Okay, got you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, if you feel confident and you want to type it in there, but I guarantee you, one time or another, you will make that mistake, and then people will be coming back to you saying, "This link doesn't work. Why doesn't it work?" And it's happened too many times with me, so I just automatically I go and copy stuff across. It just saves any headaches.
Awesome. Good tip.
Yeah, it helps. But that URL one is quite good. So you can see how we can sort of change things around. Now, also, like in other areas that we've got here, this is another dynamic block. This is to show all your courses. So when you start getting courses, they'll show up. But there's lots of different types. This one's got a filter built into it. It shows the categories and things. But if we go in some of the course blocks here, where are they? Courses. There's lots of different types. You can have all courses with a filter. All of these are dynamic blocks. Notice the little green dynamic. It means that it's pulling content in. So it'll pull it from other sources. So you've got everything here. You've got one for courses with a filter and search. So this adds a category and a search field at the top of the preview. This one here is all courses, so it shows all the courses. One down here is featured courses, and this one that's called My Courses is for the user when they log in. So if they've bought 2 of your courses and you've got 3, then when they go in under My Courses page, it will just show 2 courses. So remember their page here is My Courses. So that's the page that they would log into. Your users who are enrolled on your courses. I'm not enrolled, but if I was, it would show up in here. Okay, so that's dynamic blocks. Now, with dynamic blocks, you can change a little bit the way they look. You can come in here and you can change some of these settings in here. Change the background color. That's a bit horrible. And anything you do on this block, it will be rippled through all the other pages that have got that dynamic block on there. So it brings me back to important pages, which is register page. So this register page has got a dynamic block in here, and you want to make sure that you do not delete that block out, because if you do, people cannot register for your site. Now, some people only like people to be registered if they're buying something. So they want to lock the site off. In that case, you could delete it out, or you could unpublish the page and get rid of it from the menu. So then it becomes hard for them to register. Now, I've done a video on that. There's a bit more to it than that, but that's the prefix of it, kind of thing. So you can change this a little bit in here, but I would avoid changing it unless you really have to. So I'm just warning you, you have the ability to change and maybe add some fields and things, but you can see in here, I can't really add any fields or anything because this is a sign up form and these are the requirements that we have. But if we come in here, you can change a little bit of it. Very little, but a little bit. And this is the sign up page. So we also have the,
David,
sorry?
Do you also advise us not to translate?
No, I don't. No, absolutely not. A lot of people are using the site and translating. It does require a little bit of extra work because are you using the languages to translate as well, the language sections of the site?
I haven't started yet. I just wandered on this page.
Right, because this is obviously here. You can change that to your language, but some of it you can't change things. So anything that's got that is kind of dynamically generated, you can change the default languages under languages here. Now, I don't want to get into this because this is all about forms, and I want to talk about forms and language, almost like languages, like translating language. I've talked to quite a lot of instructors that are completely redoing their site. So what I want to do is I want to set up a workshop, and I want to bring some of those experts that are already doing it into it so they can help, because I'm not that au fait of it. I know how to change everything over, but I'm not converting it as much as those guys are. So I want a couple of them to attend one of the workshops so they can actually give you their advice.
That would be great. Thanks.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming up. Yeah, there's a couple of guys that are changing a lot of this stuff, but they're doing a lot of it from languages. These are basically default. You can choose a set language in here and it will change all of these. These are some of the dynamically generated words that are used. So if you were to change first name, you notice first name was in the form here, if you were to change it in here to your language, then when you save this down the bottom, oh, sorry, no, you need to change it in here, and then it just asks you to save there. Yeah, that would then change that form. It would say in there whatever you've called it. So that this is a kind of, this shows you all the words that are dynamically generated in the site that you have control to be able to change. But I want to cover that in its own workshop. I don't want to, we'll talk about page builder and those things, but it's definitely a workshop that needs to be done for sure.
Yeah. Hi, David. Sorry to add on this topic, as you plan to have a workshop, but I would have preferred or dreamed, for example, for my student to come into my page and pick up the language that is best understood from the student. So they choose up front the language. So let's say English for an English speaking, and afterwards they sign in. Or let's say Albanian for an Albanian speaking, and afterwards they sign in. Is it feasible?
This has come up before. At the moment, our policy is you need to have one site language per site. So if you're obviously using the Pro, you could set up 3 sites with different languages. Now, saying that, I'm also looking into I know it's not the end goal, but you could use something like a plugin like Google Translate. That might be a workaround for keeping it in one site, because at the moment we haven't got the ability to set up multiple languages for one site, which is what you want. So at the moment you're going to have to use the Pro, or we might do that in the future. We might change to multilingual. I'm not sure. It's not going to be.
Yeah, I think, yeah, at least for few languages that would be very essential. I think nowadays a lot of sites, websites, like if you go in a bank or if you go in any public institution, they would have 3 main languages in a country, for example, because the world is getting more virtual and we plan to have courses sold out worldwide. Having this capability to switch languages is imperative nowadays, I think so.
Yeah, I think it is quite important. I mean, and getting all the translations and everything done, it has been talked about. I don't know how they're going to progress with it, but if you've put a feature list down, maybe hook up with a lot of people that are also wanting the same feature. Put a post on Facebook group who agrees with this. Try and raise a little bit of interest in a lot of people agreeing with it, and then of course it catches our attention, and Rakesh will then might prioritize it. You never know. I'm not in control, so I don't know, but he might do.
Yeah, I think it's becoming a standard nowadays. It is becoming a basic standard. If you go in any website, banks or institutions, it's standard, it's basic. I think so.
Yeah. Well, I don't know anything about that, but yeah, like I say, if you try and raise a bit of interest with Rakesh, then maybe it'll be prioritized. I know there's no new feature requests coming in until the whole platform is stabilized, and we're working on making it faster and better before we actually launch. So there's actually a freeze on any new features coming in, but it's certainly something that could come along later, especially if it's asked for a lot by a lot of you. Then we take notice of what you're saying, and we always try and get features out to you. And I know there's some features coming out that you're going to be really, really happy with. I haven't heard about languages, but maybe I'll talk to Rakesh and put a post about it on Facebook group tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's all right. No problem. All right, guys. So we've got about 18 minutes left now. So we've talked about all of the main things. Now, I haven't really covered forms that much, and I basically want to make that its own workshop. So I am now going to show you or I'm going to ask you, you might want to carry this on. If you think I haven't covered enough, it's definitely time for you to sort of have your say. So I'm now looking at the chat. So I'm going to be looking at the chat when I do this. Now, I've got 3 options for you to choose for next week. So this is where it really pays for you to get in on these lives, because you have the choice. It's your choice, right? So next week we're going to run either, we can start the course creation, yeah, or we can do forms and funnels. So we're talking a little bit about funnels today, about landing on them and driving interest. And actually, you know, this works because some people haven't created their courses yet. And because they haven't created their courses yet, they don't feel that they can do this. They don't feel they need to do their site, or they don't need to do anything. But the thing is that you can actually sell your course before it's done, or you can drive interest before it's done. And all you need is maybe an intro video or a bit of information. And then you can use forms and funnels to drive leads or prospects into your site. So you're basically building up, you can leave it running, you're building up an interest of people. When you get round to doing your course, then you can then say, right, it's ready for you, and get people straight in. So I've got forms and funnels. These are all big courses, by the way. They're all big workshops, sorry. One is the course creation. So we're going to start the course creation process. If we start that might run over 2 weeks. Forms and funnels, I'm pretty sure I can get done in a 1 to 2 hour session. Then the next one I've got, which you might be interested in, is image and media creation. So we touched on me using Pixlr. And so I wanted to run a workshop. This will be mainly about how to create some groovy images and how to put those into Page Builder and all this sort of, and what I do for my media for an effective, quick, streamlined pipeline to creating media for videos, and also doing Canvas slides, PowerPoints. So you have 3 choices. Plus, if you want this one, the Page Builder, you want a part 2 of this because it isn't enough time for you. Now's to have your say. So I'm going to have a look now, and you've got course creation, funnels, or media. So I'm going to look at the chat and I'm going to see which one is raising the most interest for you guys. Or we can do a Page Builder part 2. Funnels. I knew it's going to be funnels. I knew it. So yeah, we got loads of funnels. Yeah, you love funnels. Creator, yeah. So they are all needed. Yeah, they are. We're going to cover them all. Jill, we're going to do them all. But I'm just giving you the choice to have them sooner. So funnels, I think, is a good one. You've all going for funnels. And funnels is really good because it's not just going to cover funnels, it's going to cover forms. So I'm going to be showing you how to, what do I suggest? Yeah, I was kind of like, well, I like media, but then that's fun. So I like creating stuff in Photoshop and all those sort of things. But we can do that. I'm going to do it at one stage anyway. But you guys are interested in funnels, and form and funnels can be really good because I can show you how to set forms up, how to tag people coming in, how to do the email automation when it's coming in. And with funnels, this Page Builder workshop has been really good because you can take what you learned from today and we can apply it in the funnels as well. So Joy has said she wants to build my mailing list too. So yeah, funnels are the way to do it. Lead magnets, funnels, yes, automations is going to be part of that as well. So I'm going to be showing you all the automation side. Now, I've only really got to show you automations once, because once I show you how to do it in funnels, you'll be able to use the same automations in your courses and inside your live events. So your live classes, live webinars. So we'll be, if I show that in funnels, then it's going to be covered for the others as well. There's slight differences. So I'm going to dip into those as well. I'm going to jump across to those. So most of the time we'll be focusing on creating a funnel, and I'm going to be taking you through the process. I think 1 or 2 hours is absolutely fine for this. It's actually not as bad as Page Builder. Page Builder, there's a lot to it where you can jump out. But the good thing about the funnels course as well is that I'll be using Page Builder in it. So we can build up, so you can raise questions that you might have concerns about today. You can raise them in next week's funnels one. So we're going to do funnels. That is unanimous. So nobody interested in creating a course. Yes. No, that's good. Yeah, courses is going to be a big one, but the course creation is going to definitely run over 2 weekends. Right. Okay. That is fantastic. So that is about it. So guys, have you got any questions? We've got about 12 minutes left.
David, could I ask a question about the sign-up form that you've got on the screen now? I would be really interested in putting another block in there to find out where my audience is coming from. So a little block to say United Kingdom or USA or whatever, because my insurance actually prohibits me from using or working in certain countries. Is that something I could do there?
Well, you really don't want them to you don't really want them to actually be filling a second form out, so you want it as part of this form, don't you?
Yeah.
It's difficult. What I could say, are you purely using it because you want them to sign up on the mailing list? So this is just registering to your site, isn't it? You don't want them to, you're getting them to sign up because they just want to be registered on your site. Is that correct?
That's right, David. Sorry, I think my mute came on just for a second.
Right. Right. Okay. There is a way we can do this. We could do this. Let me send you, where have you put your name in chat? Who is this? Who is this?
It's Tracy Brind.
Oh, Tracy. Okay. Tracy, can you PM me?
Yeah, sure.
PM me with that. I'll do that as a Ask Zenler.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
There's a little bit of a workaround. I'm actually going to use what I call a automated trigger to actually tag that and register them. So we're going to do it that way. So there's no way we can put it into that form, or I don't know if there is. I don't think there is. Into this form, so I can give you a workaround to work that in there, and I do it as an Ask Zenler. So if any of you are interested as well, then you can see it as well, because I put the link on there.
Thank you very much.
That's all right.
Can you confirm that you can change this on a registration page, however, like collect things like physical or mailing address? This is simply for registering to be a user on the site rather than in a course?
Yeah, it's purely for sign up to the course, sign up to the site. It's not, they're not buying anything. We can put extra fields in, but I don't want to get into forms. Is a whole can of worms. There's a lot to it. That's why I was like, I can't show how to use the page builder and all the other things that go with it, links and hyperlinks and putting things in, and show forms as well. We'd just be running for another 2 hours. So because we're doing funnels next week, we're going to kind of cover forms anyway. So it'll be all in there.
Wonderful. Thank you.
That's all right. That's all right. So great. I think are you all okay? There's no one stuck or having trouble? No, I don't. Right. Okay. Right. Guys, if you are stuck and you're not putting it on the group or anything, just make sure that you PM me, and then I can solve it. I really want these workshops for you not to, if you don't want to come on the group or chat and you're having a problem, you can't follow along, you need to contact me. I do not want these workshops for you to be like, I don't understand any of that. That's the last thing. I can break it down easier. Some people are used to using these systems. Other people have never used it before, and it's all kind of a bit, and I know how bad that can be sometimes. So make sure that you contact me, reach out, because I don't want anyone to get stuck with any of this stuff as I'm going through. Like I said to you, if you are stuck, if there's enough people saying, I'm having trouble, then I will run another workshop. I'm not moving on until you're happy with what stage we're at. So guys, thank you all so much. I know that some of you it's late, some of you it's early in the morning. So thanks so much for turning up. There will going to be a replay of this, and I'm going to put a link to the funnels and forms chosen by you in the replay. So you're going to get that about 6:30 p.m. GMT time tomorrow. And it'll give you a link there. So you can be the first to register. I'm not going to put it on the Facebook group. So you guys that have turned up, you can register. I want to make sure that you get in that workshop before anyone else. Okay, guys, so it's been really good today. Thanks for your questions as well. And yeah, good to see you all. And hopefully you've benefited from this. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
See you later, guys.